Hey everybody, this is All Things Cheryl coming towards and at you with another review and another recap of Pink and P.Valley. Pink and P.Valley. But before we go on and get into this review, I will be coming back either late or on tonight and give you episode 3, but we're going to deal with episode 2 right now so we can get all caught up. And before we get on and do that, let's do some homework. Homework. Click subscribe, comment, and watch the video. All right, so down in the dirty South, we see Mississippi and Mercedes, right? Mississippi and Mercedes, they are dressed up in dominatrix gear. Looks like they're doing some uh, freaky stuff going on. Some S&M going on in the Paradise Room, right? Paradise Room. And we see this white guy, body all chained up, hands all chained up, legs all chained up, got a collar mask around his neck, and he's hollering and talking about he's been a bad boy. He put his hands in the cookie jar. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Meanwhile, while we see all this naked body, we see outright full blast dingling. When I say dingling, we see male parts. And the women who are looking and the gay men who are looking at this series that's basically presented to us by stars is basically having a wonderful time due to the fact that male parts and male dinglings are basically swinging all over the place. But anyway, so we see, I'm going to call her AKA. AKA is basically doing a private dancing for a aggressive woman. You see the aggressive woman basically throwing all these dollars, and you see AKA Autumn is basically peering at that door back there, right? She's peering at that door because she want to know what's going on in that room because all you could hear is stuff go. They whooping the daylights out of this guy, right? And then all of a sudden, we see Diamond. He comes through. He was like, yo, you need to keep your eye on your client over there. Don't be worried about what's going on in that Paradise Room, right? And so while this guy is basically getting the crap out of him, whipped out of him, and this is the beginning of episode 2, Scars. Then it's Freaky Friday, guys, in the strip bars, right? So all of a sudden, you see this woman decked down in this all white pink coat. So she comes out, she throws it on the floor and everything, and she get to working out. She get to working out on the pole, right? She get to working out on the pole, and basically they get to they're doing their thing and everything, and then all of a sudden we see Uncle Clifford. Uncle Clifford, she's looking well. She's doing her thing. She's having a good time. And then we see that Uncle Clifford and Mississippi had kind of came into the room where everybody else is, right? Where everybody else is. And this is when we see this white guy who has basically been whipped and who has been chained. Seemed like he was very pleased. Seemed like he's a regular, and he was very happy. and Uncle Clifford asked Mississippi, uh, did he bring his whip uh, tonight? And Mississippi said, yeah, he bought it tonight. And the only reason why Uncle Clifford asked her about, if he bought his whip is because they know that he's into this dominatrix kind of stuff, and he had basically blood on the back of his shirt, right? And so while we're basically dealing with this, we noticed that Mississippi mentioned something about this white guy's color, and she said something like all that yellowness being wasted. Now, all that yellowness, I had no idea she was alluding to the fact that he was not a white guy, because basically he could basically pass as a white person, and they would never know that he was mixed. So, in other words, we have a lot of people that are basically like that. You can look at them all day long, and you wouldn't be able to tell whether or not if they were not they were black, but you would not know, because uh, it just is. And so Uncle Clifford told her, girl, you need to get out of here with that colorism that you got going on. In other words, don't do that. Don't do that. And so as the night goes on and everything, we see that Uncle Clifford is at and on, aka Autumn Night, about IDs, right? And so Uncle Clifford sees Autumn and says, hey, 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 don't you have something for me? And uh, Autumn said, can you basically, give me a break? Could you pay me kind of sort of underneath the table? And then Uncle Clifford said, hey, 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 hey. Now, Uncle Clifford got a lot of rules going on in his club. I mean, in her club, excuse me, in her club. And rule number, what was that? Rule number, I forgot to write that rule down. But one of the rules is that we will not be doing no tax evasion. In other words, I need some IDs, and you need to hurry up and get me some IDs. So basically, AKA is basically, getting ready to go in the bathroom and get ready to do her session. And so while she's getting ready to go in the bathroom to do her session, that's why I said this show has everything. We see Autumn again changing her clothes, and she's basically going in a pocketbook, and we see that she has a little pink gun going on up in there. So I guess she has to, protect herself. And then not only do we see the little pink uh, gun going on, we see a little miniature, look like a little liquor bottle. It always seems like she's always drinking. She's always drinking. She's always drinking. There's something going on. We don't know what's going on, but it took us a long while to even find out what her kind of sort of her real name is. But we see her basically in the stall, and then in the stall, the camera basically peers over, and we see these two women basically making out. And so we see these two women making out, and they are basically going for it. Now, while Autumn is basically getting ready to do her session, we see Big L. Now, Big L is the one who basically uh, Uncle Clifford always telling him, just count, just count, just count. Don't worry about what's going on. But Big L happened to run by and happened to see that um, they are basically in the hole, and they're in the hole for $55,000. They need 55 stacks to basically pay a bill, or they will be going into foreclosure. And so, um, Lady Lady Clifford, Uncle Clifford, excuse me, Uncle Clifford is telling Big L don't basically worry about it because Big L has two federal strikes on him, and so he's telling her, Uncle Clifford, to basically do something about this because now I didn't mention in the previous review, now uh, they are doing cashier. They you know, cashing the Mexican, the Hispanics checks, and Big L is basically telling him that this ain't working, because they beginning to fight and stuff like that. So this ain't working. So we are gonna have to really find a way to figure out, how we gonna get this money. And so this is when uh, Uncle Clifford tells Big L, says, "Don't worry about it, because we get ready to do our annual car wash." So apparently, every year, the Pink has this annual car wash where basically they basically sell uh, and wash cars. So they are going to be washing cars to see whether or not if basically they can um, raise the money. And so while uh, Big L is basically, wondering where this money is coming from, we see, excuse me for a minute, let me read my notes so I can try to keep on. We see that we see this, remember, this was this landscaper investigator basically taking pictures out outside of the club. And so basically we see this same guy, I think his name is Andre, I could be wrong, um, see him basically with two white guys. But before we see him with these two white guys, we see him emerged with a lot of cotton around him, and all of this cotton around him, it really looked beautiful and everything. So he basically was taking pictures with his looked like he had a tablet. He was taking pictures with the tablet, and then one of the white guys said, "Pick some," and he said it again. He said, "Pick some." And I'm basically saying, what you talking about? Pick some. Ain't nobody trying to pick no daggone cotton. Insinuating, talking about, well, when people come by, it's so fascinating that they want to pick some. Well, this Negro, excuse me, strike that. This person, as Andre was like, we're not trying to do that. And so we come to find out that the reason why we see him in the previous taking pictures is because these two brothers have a large sum of basically land. And this land is that they are really trying to uh, sell this land, and I think they're talking about maybe getting about maybe about $8 million basically for this land. And how they came across this land is that their father basically left this land to them, and he split that land three ways. Now we find out that the white guy, oh well, we find out that the brother from another mother is their brother, right? Is their brother. And in order for this deal to go through, because basically they're trying to basically put in a casino. And what was the name of that? I didn't write the name of that casino down. And so uh, he basically told brother, let's get to Johnny Hancock. And one of the brothers didn't really know exactly what a Johnny Hancock was. And the other brother said, it's your signature, dummy. And so we go on and we find out that Albert, what is this guy? Andrew, I think it's Andrew, might be wrong. Andrew is really trying to, get this deal. But we find out that the person, the third brother, his name was Colbert. Colbert. And Colbert really didn't really want to basically sign these papers and so this casino basically can go through. He kind of sort of, and he's thinking that he could make more money if he, what one of the brothers said, he can make more money if he's kind of leasing. But the other brothers are not really into the leasing, and we're going to get a little bit more about go on about what this leasing is all about, right? And so they go on with the conversation, and they saying, well, Andrew is basically telling them that this you signing the deed and everything is not, I mean, you signing the letter and everything, it's not going to be any good, not unless you get that third signature. And he says, well, you want you I mean the lawyer, he's a lawyer, and he says, well, do you want me basically to go over and see what I can do, see whether or not if I can get him to basically, sign the paperwork over. And they say, yeah, sure, let's see what you could do. And so he says, well, where is he? And so that's when they alluded and they pointed to the pink and P.Valley advertising bulletin bulletin board sign that they had up, and they said that's where you will find my brother actually spending all of his money on pussy and booze. So as we get all into this, we basically see that Mississippi, Mississippi and them are basically, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. I'll get ready to jump gun a little bit. But so while the lawyer is basically going to be heading over to the paradise to basically see what he can do, we see that Mercedes is basically with her girls, and her girls are basically practicing and everything, and but she brought her girls at a different location, and this location is where they will be basically doing their practicing in a new gym. She basically bought a building where she can transform it into a dance studio, uh, so her girls can compete in a more comfortable and an environment. And while Mercedes was basically out there with her girls, you see basically these boys riding by and talking about work it, baby, work it. And so while we basically are dealing with uh, that, we go on and we are moving into the car wash. Now we see Mercedes um, basically on her social media. And I think the social media is basically going to play a big, big part. Um, I'm not too sure. I could be kind of fishing a little bit, but I think the social media is going to play a big, big part as to what is going to actually, we're going to see what actually going on with Autumn Night. But anyway, we see that um, Mercedes, all of them, all of the girls are basically at the car wash, and they're charging $50 a car wash. And Big L is still kind of nervous because he's thinking that, just because you're charging $50 for a car wash, that ain't gonna be enough. But Big L said, "Don't, we'll see." And so this is when Uncle Clifford, she basically asked for Mercedes and Midnight. One reason why she asked for Mercedes and Midnight is because we have the mayor. Now, the mayor is kind of a um, not too cool of a person. He basically uh, don't want the girls basically in the bar stripped naked, and Uncle Clifford, wanna basically continue on with doing the titties and trying to sell liquor and everything. But I guess in a particular state, I guess you have to be all dressed up or all covered up. I don't know how you're gonna be all covered up when you're at a strip bar. Um, Definition of a strip bar: take your clothes off and show your body, right? So we go on and we see the mayor. Now, the mayor is basically, he's kind of the way he's talking. He looks to me, he looks like he's kind of a shady dude. He's really, really shady and everything, right? And so we see that Uncle Clifford, she asks for Mercedes and AKA Night, Autumn Night, to basically do this car, and because it's like detailed car wash, and to basically make sure that you wash it to a point where it would make me wanna have sex with him. So we see the two of them. They get into the car. They start wiping it down and everything. And Mercedes asks Autumn to basically let her have some of that leather thing. And so actually, Autumn lied and said that, she didn't have it or anything, but in actual reality, she did. She was just being nasty. Now throughout this whole 1 and 2 episode, Autumn Night has really, really been nasty, and for no apparent reason. So when the two of them were basically in the car, and Mercedes left out of the car basically to see if she could find um, or some leather to clean the car and everything, we see that Autumn basically has a flashback. She has a flashback, and she was really, really hollering and screaming. Water got all into the mayor's car and everything, and so she was hollering and screaming, and everybody saw that she was hollering and screaming. So we see that she was basically seriously upset, and so the mayor said, "Well, what's going on? You got water in my car. You need to do something." And this is when Uncle Clifford told basically Mercedes to basically take her home. And Mercedes didn't really want to take her home, but basically Mercedes basically went on and did what Uncle Clifford wanted her to do, was basically take her home. And so we see that Mercedes takes her home. Uh, Mercedes asks her, is she gonna be okay? Let me make sure you be okay. Autumn, go upstairs and hurry up and open up the door and slam the door in Mercedes' face. And then Mercedes says, "Well, you should at least offer me some food, some drink or something." And this is when Autumn said, "I don't do basically Kool-Aid." And so we see that Autumn is really, really being nasty. I mean, nasty as all get out, right? And so I'm like, yo, girl, why you so nasty? So Autumn is home and she's basically uh kind of sober, and we see a light peers open, like a light, like a flashlight, right? And that flashlight is her cell phone. But basically, what had happened, I think in episode 2, um, Autumn basically spilled liquor on her phone, and so therefore the phone went dead. So Autumn basically put the phone in a bag of rice. Now, everybody said bag of rice, put the phone in the bag of rice and let it stay there for days and days and days. And basically, it will recalibrate itself. And so basically, the phone did kind of sort of recalibrate. And while it did, she was able to basically see these pictures that she screened in the middle of the apartment when the phone went out, and we saw pictures of her, saw pictures of her baby, several pictures of her baby, and then we see this one particular picture where it's the baby, is her, and I guess it might be the dude, or I think that's the dude that she's probably running away from, or she was in an abusive relationship, because when she saw the dude, she was looking really, she didn't like what she saw. And so, as everybody was getting ready and they finished the car wash, we basically see the cook, right? We see the cook rolling out with his pots and pans, right? We see the cook rolling out with his pots and pans and talking about he basically will be back to get his lids. I was like, dude, are you serious? But he got his lids, and so, you know, Uncle Clifford, she was getting really, really upset. She was crying and everything. And then you saw Mercedes and the other girls coming up. And this is when Mercedes tells Uncle Clifford, rule number 24.9, no crying. No crying. And so Uncle Clifford, she said, look at the OG telling, doing the rules and everything. And so they got this up together, and they all went in and to get themselves together and to make the money, right? And so while they were all uh, basically going and to make money, we see Corbett and Albert. Is it Albert or Corbett? I don't know, but we see the lawyer. Let's just say the lawyer. The lawyer was basically in the room. Both of them were basically there, talking about the deals, and Albert didn't. Not Albert, but I don't know what's going on with me. I can't seem to think. But he was basically Corbett. Corbett was basically with Albert, and they were talking about the leasing deal, and basically he was trying to, get the leasing deals, because he tells the lawyer that he makes more money leasing instead of selling. For what, after all the deal and everything taken care of, you get about 1.1 million dollars. In the meantime, we see a dad basically uh, Autumn basically see the two together, and so she basically goes in the room. Well, when she see the two together, uh, Mercedes basically went in to basically try to steal or steal the this try to steal the black guy from Autumn, right? And so Mercedes asks him, well, what do you want tonight? Do you want white liquor or do you want brown liquor? And of course, he chose the white girl with no move, right? And so, while he chooses the white girl, Albert, uh, Corbett, excuse me, guy, I don't know what's going on with me right now. I probably need to get some rest. But Corbett basically tells him to try to get this deal for him as far as the leasing is concerned. And if he could get this deal for him, he basically would make it worthwhile for him. But of course, Albert uh, didn't really want to do this deal. And so this is when he tells him that he could basically afford it, and saying that he could afford it, and this is what they were calling somewhat like a kickback when it comes to recreation, because he tells that they are basically the same, and he says that, oh no, we're not the same when it comes to the color of the skin. We're not the same. And so he was basically getting kind of mad due to the fact that he didn't really want to take this bribe and everything. And so while the two of them were in the room, uh, uh, Autumn was basically trying to do her thing. So he basically took the money. He had like a stack. He had one stack, and he gave it to Albert and told Albert to basically and told Autumn to take him in the champagne room and give him a special, private dancing kind of thing. Maybe I need some water or something. Private dancing kind of thing. I'll try to bring this to a close. And so this is when we see that the dancing went on champagne in the champagne room, and Albert really uh, was and really did wanted to be with Autumn, and she began her white girl thing. And this is when she was going towards him, and he said, "No, no, 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 don't sit on me. No, 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 sit over there." And then because she was basically butt naked with some white high thigh boots, butt naked, right? And she says, "Well, how am I going to touch you and everything?" And he was like, "Well, you know." And then this is when we noticed that both of them had scars. She had a scar on her, and he had a scar on her. So as the night went on, basically she wind up getting the stack, and so this is when we find out that Uncle Clifford was basically cooking, and this is when uh, murder basically came in and was telling her about what she needed to do about her cooking, because she basically popped up again and had his CD. And this is when uh, murder told Uncle Clifford, you are basically telling me that I'm not ready, I need this and I need this. Well, let me tell you about what you need. And this is when he went on and told her that you need to put your chicken in and let it set in grease or whatever, and basically put it in some cabbage seed, or what is it, marijuana butter. Now, you know they're doing a lot of cooking with the marijuana butter. And so they basically went through and people were eating the chicken and everything, right? And so after the dancing, we see Autumn basically has finished the dance. all of the girls and everything have finished the dance, and here comes Autumn. Basically, Autumn has come with her a stack, and she basically pays out her stack, and all the girls and Mercedes is wondering what's going on. Is because she paid for a lap dance. Not only did she pay for a lap dance, she played the part where I guess a certain amount of money you got to pay for that. They pay for that. So uh, Mercedes was wondering how you get all that thousands of dollars. What you do? You selling? You a hoe or something? And then Uncle Clifford said, "Yo, whoa, wait a minute. We don't do it. Ain't no hoes up in here." And so they were wondering what was going on, right? And so Autumn says, "You know what? I got lucky, and it just so happens the two guys that was together, did not want to take a kickback, and so basically he gave it to me." And so this is when Uncle Clifford said, "Look, the next time you come in here with a stack like that, cheat me. Don't come in here and show off. Cheat me," or something like that. And so she said, "Okay, okay, okay." So in the meantime, right? In between time, we see that Uncle Clifford says, "Yo, wait a minute. Don't you owe me something?" Right? And this is when Autumn said, "Oh man," she said, "I need ID." Said, "You've been here almost a week and you have not shown any ID. I need some ID." And so Uncle Clifford said, "How did you get all this money?" And this is when uh, she showed him the card of the lawyer. Esquire is actually a lawyer, a legal lawyer. His name, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name because I've been screwing it up. I'm hoping this is the correct name. And so she gave the card to Uncle Clifford and said, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming and everything. And they were basically, talking about the casino that's basically coming in. And then Uncle Clifford said, "Oh, casino." And then this is when she knew that Uncle Clifford didn't really know anything about the casino. And then Uncle Clifford said, "I knew about it, but I just, didn't know, but I did know." And so Uncle Cliff said, "Well, I need you to go get me some more information." And so I just said, "Well, if you want more information, you're basically going to have to go there yourself." This is getting kind of long, guys. So like I said, this is a long, long strip because it's so much. So I'm going to skip to the part where Uncle Clifford said, "Go get me some tea," because he was thirsty. So in other words, she was saying, why should I say something to her when I have a person that's already in my possession that basically likes what he sees? And Uncle Clifford said, "Go get me some tea, and I don't know how you're gonna do it, and how you're gonna do it, and which lips you're gonna use." I was like, "Ooh, okay." And so we see, here we go again, right? So we see Autumn, right? Autumn is once again drunk as hell, and she has the card, uh, tore the card up, but she had to drink to get her courage up to call this lawyer up to Albert to get the information that Uncle Clifford, the tea that she was basically looking for. And so we find out that Albert is married. He's with his wife talking about putting up some shelves. So he sees that Autumn calls, so he quickly put his wife and said, "Look, got something else going on." And another guy's talking about something else. His wife was like being all cordial and said, "Oh, okay, go get that money." So he quickly hangs up with her, right? And so Autumn, all drunk and everything, gets to talking and asks you know, the lawyer, Albert, what you doing? And he, he gets up in the window, and then she gets the moaning and the groaning. You know what the moaning and the groaning is? The moaning and the groaning, they are basically having phone sex. Now, once again, we got Diggling, male Diggling, hanging on, swinging all over the place. And then basically, that was the end of part and season and episode one. I know episode two and season one of the Pink Valley. Now this is kind of long, but we got it. I might skip a couple things. I know I did. I skipped about a murder, showing him how to cook, but I think I did mention it. I'm not quite sure. Uh, so I think I missed the part. Well, I don't know, but anyway, look, guys, this is very good. Uh, I still, everybody don't. I don't know if I don't like Autumn, cause Autumn is nasty, guys. She's nasty, and Mercedes, she's like, she knows that this girl is a competition for her. Like she told Uncle Clifford, oh, she's light skinned, so all she gotta do, or did Uncle Clifford said, all they gotta do is just be light skinned and they get paid money. Um, but look, this is All Things Cheryl. Thanks for, dropping by and checking me out. Till the next time, love is for everyone. And remember, we're still in a pandemic. So hey, do your mask and wash your hands. And remember, love is for everybody. And I'll either see you later on tonight, but I think it's going to be Wednesday. No, it's going to be Monday when I bring out this review or recap of part three. Take care.